Morning, everyone. My name is Steven on behalf of company Weiyang Electronics. I'm the country head of EMEA area and India, in charge of the marketing and the sales work, mostly among these regions. So today I will mainly give some presentation about one of the Weiyang products line, super junction MOSFET. Of course, we have some other components business, but because for the last few years, I have been working on these components because I want to expand some business in my in charge area. So that's why for this presentation, I will mainly give some information for these products. I will start from our company presentation. Our company is registered in 1996, but Weiyang is a very long history company. We have began to do our business can be originated from 1985. And for our beginning business is production components. For example, I will show you later, like polymer PTC, ESD, TVS products. So with the development of our company, we expand our business from the production to power semiconductors. And our turnover in last year is 120 million USD, covering all our products. Our headquarters is located in Shanghai. We have a big laboratory in there. Also, main administration staff also located in there. We have a sales office and FAE lab in Shenzhen, and the sales office and another lab in Taiwan. We have a sales office in Korea and Xi'an, and I personally mainly located in Europe, Warsaw, to service the European market. So as I mentioned, Weiyang began our business originated from 1987. We began to develop some production components called polymer PTC. And with the years development, we accumulated many famous customers, as you see from this history map. For example, like Bell, Huawei, Samsung, LG, even Apple, and but of course, for the first half of our company history, we only focus on the production components. So from 2012. Weiyang began to develop the super junction MOSFET, which is the first generation. And for the last few years, we have developed some new generation. For example, in 2015, we developed the second generation for super junction MOSFET. And for 2007, we launched the 800 watts specific for super junction MOSFET. And since 2019, we launched the third generation for MOSFET. So we are also very pay attention to our intellectual property. So far, we have hold around 100 patents for semiconductor devices, some production components, etc., including some patents internationally. So here is our main products coverage. As you can see, except super junction MOSFET, we also have some other production components. For example, for our current protection, as you can see, for polymer PTC, ceramic PTC, some fuse, and some ESD production devices, some TVS production IC. So this is mainly our products coverage. So of course, Weiyang is an ISO qualified company, also a IIT F16949 certificated company who have the qualification to supplying the automotive customer. But I have to stress one thing, that for MOSFET, we only work on the consumer and the industrial level products. So for the automotive products we are talking about is more like the polymer PTC and the ESD, some etc., some production components, because most of the customer need AEC-Q qualified products, and we have it for that. And Weiyang has our own UL-CTDP lab and TUV-TMPL lab. So this laboratory means that Weiyang has our own ability to get some products approved inside of our company, and just simply give the report to the UL agency to get it stamped and make it certification finalized. This is some picture about our laboratory. We have it in Shanghai, the biggest one. Sorry. Shanghai in biggest one, and we have another 2 in design center in Xi'an for semiconductor development center, and then we have another one in Shenzhen. So this page shows our superjunction MOSFET, the quality reliability control. As you can see, we targeting it very strictly for the quality control, which is the automotive level as an AECQ level from most of the test items. This is our major customers for MOSFET only, because this is a mainly MOSFET oriented presentation. We didn't list too much customer for other industries, but this is for only MOSFET products so far we have. And the application, you might be very familiar, some different like SMPS, LED charging pile, some charger adapter, all use the high voltage MOSFET. So this page shows our products technology. As you see, there are 2 mainly high voltage MOSFET technology in the market, and the first one is very traditional. We call it a planar MOSFET. The second is the superjunction MOSFET, which also we call it CoolMOS, which is the patent name with the pioneer of in Europe, Infineon. They call it CoolMOS. So since the beginning, we only focus on the relatively new technology superjunction. We don't have work on any products for the planar MOSFET, the VD MOSFET. We only work on the superjunction MOSFET because we know after a few years later, the traditional MOSFET will be abandoned because of the loss of the advantages. So comparing with the traditional MOSFET with the superjunction MOSFET, as you can see, we can design the wafer size quite smaller comparing with traditional, also make the capacitance smaller, which will be very interesting for the designer. From the performance point of view, a lot of parameters can be improved a lot comparing with the traditional one. And there are 2 manufacturing crafts on the market also. We call it, one is a multi-IP, which is represented by Infineon and ST, these European brands. Another one is called Deep Trends, which is represented by Toshiba and Fairchild, these Japanese brands. Both different technology have different advantages. So I just want to say that for Weiyang, we have materially developed both lines for our different products in order to supplying different customer according to their requirements. So if we talk about the different advantages or disadvantage, the Deep Trends which has a lot of high yield, which make the cost relatively better. If we talk about the stable performance of the EMI performance, which is attention by some customer, for example, like LED, they need to pass something like that, then they have to choose the multi-IP crafts products. And Weiyang, both products are available. This page is really important. This is a comparison between Weiyang and our other international competitors like Infineon, ST, Toshiba. So as you can see, Weiyang, the green line is a C4, our 3rd generation for MOSFET, is the one which is close to the best MOSFET in the world, C7 from Infineon. And we are, from the performance point of view, we are a lot better than Toshiba and ST. This is approved by our test. As you can see this map, this is the FOM, the RDSM plus QG to determine which chips for MOSFET has better performance after this calculation. As you can see, the first 3 parts is Weiyang parts, and the next 3 parts is Infineon C7, and the next is ST M5 and M6. So comparatively, this FOM is the lower, the better. As you can see, Weiyang These few parts is quite on the same level with the best MOSFET for Infineon and better than ST. So here is another one. This is a specific product. We call it a fast recovery diode assembly inside of the MOSFET. As you can see, also our performance is really good comparing with Toshiba, Infineon, and ST. So with the last few years development, we have to say our development speed and the performance is really got a lot of improvement. As you can see from the second generation comparing with the first generation, we have 38% for FOM improvement. And for the third generation, we have another 30%. So that is why I'm really pushing really hard for the European or the EMEA area for these products is because comparing with other components, our super junction MOSFET have really more core competitors. No matter from the cost point of view, because if you see that the super junction MOSFET you can design it for better FOM, that means that the cost can be saving a lot because the chip size is smaller. Second is because the performance, as you see, the picture that we comparing with our the global oriented the global main competitors, we have the same, even some parts better performance. Also from the lead time point of view, still even in this year, as you can see, the global shortage condition happened. For this high voltage MOSFET, we still have a lot of better advantage of lead time comparing with our competitors. So this is paid is basically some internal design for our products to make some of the we have to say some soft switching. We can say that we mean that make the EMI performance better because if you see the picture of for example, you make the capacitance changing with the voltage very smoothly. That means that the MOSFET performance will be more stable, and because the super junction MOSFET switching is too fast, so the turbulence will be bigger. But we are trying to make some balance during our design for this. From the roadmap point of view, so far our focused voltage is from 500 watts to 1050 watts available so far. We are also targeting some higher voltage for 1200 watts of MOSFET. But to be honest, if we are talking about higher voltage comparing with that will be another section. So we call it silicon carbon, a new priority MOSFET will not be our matching business. So I think in next few years, our main focus for super junction products will be from 500 to 1200 watts of MOSFET. This is a page about our details about which voltage we can supply. For example, we have a 500 watts of MOSFET for the new generation. As you can see, that the package is very all kinds of packages are available. The D-pack, I-pack, TU220, and some other package. And for the 600 watts, as you can see, if we can keep highlighting our strong lines. For example, the 600 watts, as you can see, the RDI song, we can make it lower as 23 milliohm, which if you check in the market, there are not so many suppliers has ability can produce this part, but Weiyang can have these parts. The mainly application so far as I learned is for charging pile, the EV charging pile application. They need a really smaller RDI sound parts. So this we have these products, and the 650 also. For 800 watts, so far Weiyang's product line is the most complete lines in the world. I give you one example. For example, if we talk about the lower RDI sound, you can see there is a 30 ampere, 35 ampere. I think you cannot find even the second available one in the market, but Weiyang are having it because we got some feedback from the market of the customer. They need some higher rating. So Weiyang development team has the ability to develop it, and then it is launched. So we are keep doing this kind of thing. We keep accumulating and absorbing the market information, and if we see that it is quite popular and could have potential business, we will do the development further. So when the water is increasing, it is more and more difficult to find available source in the market. But Weiyang also, as I mentioned, has a strong design ability. For example, we have 900 watts, we have 950 watts, and 1000 and 1050. So these MOSFET parts are available and already on the market, launched since 2 years before. This is some second generation products. So this is what I'm talking about. We produce it based on our design, but manufactured with multi-IP producing technology, which has a better EMI performance. And some faster body diode sampling products. Because our specific design and we have ability to make the chip size really smaller. So from the package point of view is also another direction we have been working on to make some further improvement or some exclusive part. As you can see, for example, the SLD223, if we talk about the high voltage of products, is also challenging for most of the suppliers in the market, but Weiyang can definitely packaging them inside because of our specific design. And we also are working on some specific package. For example, the TO220 ISO, which is a very interesting products. This is a inner insulated products. It is a metal outside to increase the heat ability. But during the design, some customers have to put some insulation other components to make it insulated. But Weiyang already designed inside. That means that it has the same heat dissipation ability like the metal package, and it's also insulated. So this is Weiyang's patent products. There is also our exclusive one. Even Infineon don't have this kind of products. Also, as I mentioned, except the smaller size, we also make the thinner products. For example, the PDFN products. Especially if we talk about the application, the telecom customer are trying to pursue some really smaller package of products. They will be interested for this. Especially it's a high voltage, we can make it PDFN 8+8 and the PDFN 4+6. The thickness of this package is only 1 millimeters. Very thin products. And we're also working on some specific package. As you can see, some different shapes. If some customer has some specific space limitation for their devices during the design, we'll try our best to meet the customer requirements. Okay, that's the end. Then another thing I want to stress is our lead time, the capacity issue. I know that from this year, the capacity and the shortage issue for components is quite serious. But from my observation of my learning for Weiyang capacity, because we are developing some new lines, production lines, and we relatively the lead time is a lot better than competitor. If we talk about the standard lead time, most of them is only 8 to 10 weeks, even shorter. Most of parts, if it's high running, we even have stock. So this is my presentation mainly, and maybe if I have some questions, we can discuss together.